Welcome to the NOFSRL. One week ago, we saw a first-time winner at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and staying in the Midwestern United States, we arrive today at perhaps the most famous racetrack of all. Welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Speedway, Indiana. We are here at this 2.5-mile rectangular-shaped racetrack for race number 22 of the 26 race Season 4 Trinity River Cup Series. We arrive here for the second running of the Franklin Electric Brickyard 400. Coming into this race, the points are tighter than they have been since before Rockingham. Kyle McLeese still leads the point standings with 575 points towards the championship, but now he is looking more vulnerable than ever. Only 15 points ahead of Nicholas Samadeo now, 46 ahead of Kanan Biller, 68 ahead of Trey Wright, 69 ahead of Elijah Gordon, 76 ahead of Colin Teague, 87 ahead of Marty Sakala, who gained another spot in the points after Road America. William Brock gained 4 spots in the point standings after Road America. He sits 100 points behind. Alejandro Cruz Jr. lost 2 spots. He still sits 101 points back of Kyle McLeese. And Paul Antoine Sierra rounds out the top 10 in point standings, 105 points behind Kyle McLeese. We saw Priya McShane win last week. First career win for Priya McShane last week at Road America. We did not see a first-time winner the last time through at Indianapolis. The last time we were here 1 year ago, it was Sam Odoskin nabbing his third win of the season. We've had 4 two-time winners this season. Will we see someone finally nab their third? We'll have to see how it goes here at Indianapolis for 32 laps in the Franklin Electric Brickyard 400. Let's go down trackside. We'll get you a starting lineup, and we'll get this show on the road. And the engines fire here at Indianapolis. 40 are going to roll off from the grid. It is Daytona 500 winner Ethan Lewis on the pole position. He starts alongside the 97 of Colin Teague. In row number 2, we find Alejandro Cruz Jr. in the 05 for All-Star Speed Team, starting alongside the Pacific Camel Racing number 32 of Jacob Thibodeau. In row number 3, we find Roberto Crown Jr. in the number 27 for Logan Sport. He starts alongside the 52 of Darlington and Twin Ring Motegi winner for Team Velocitar. It's Ace Garcia. In row number 4, we find Eric Monaco in the number 25 for Chacon Racing Enterprises. He starts alongside the number 3 of Christopher Alphabet for Wisconsin Racing Incorporated. And rounding out the top 10, we find Nicholas Samadeo there in the 98 in the Ennis Blackout entry. His teammate Colin Teague starting up in the second position. And Samadeo starts alongside the number 62 of another Pacific Camel Racing car. That is Justin Zeidel. That is the top 10 in the standings coming into this top 10 of the lineup anyways, the lineup standings. Sam Odoskin, reigning winner of this race, starts in the 38th position in that 83. There's Kyle McLeese in the 59. He starts back in the 31st position today. So if he wants to hold on to his points lead, he's got some ground to make up on Samadeo, who qualified extremely well. 32 laps we'll have here at the Brickyard. And we are more than ready to get the second annual Franklin Electric Brickyard 400 underway. The pace car getting ready to come around turn number 4, and it will dive into the pit road, and we'll have 32 laps around this 2.5-mile racetrack. There it goes, and the field comes onto the main straightaway. We'll approach the yard of bricks down Gasoline Alley. Fans on both sides ready to hopefully watch another spectacle here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Franklin Electric Brickyard 400 gets the green flag. We're racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And hard into the wall, turn number 4, a lot of cars back there. Trey Wright caught up in the safer barrier, Blake Parker, Scott Upton, Dale Lightning, Chase Harris, Samit Oskin, Kane and Biller caught up in it, and potentially Will Parrish. It does look as though that 0-2 has some damage. And oh, a little extracurricular activity afterwards. Kukulon and Vargas. And McLeese is going to get a little piece of that. Although not terrible. Not a terrible piece. And a little jam up afterwards between cars that had already gotten into trouble. So right off the get-go, first caution of the race is out in the Franklin Electric Brickyard 400. Ethan Lewis led the field back around to the caution flag. But like Milwaukee a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago at this point, we start off this race with a bang, and not the good kind. Several cars getting taken out. Trey Wright caught up in the safer barrier. Chase Harris looks like he is going to be out of it. And the defending race winner, Samit Oskin, has a broken and battered 82, as well as 6-time winner in the series and Season 2 champion, Kanan Biller. Oskin, Biller, and Harris will all come down into the pits, as will Kyle McLeese, Joey Hightower, Paul-Antoine Sierra, and Ryan Durrani also coming down into the pits. 4 cars already marked out of the race, and potentially going to have even more. As Chase Harris pulls into his stall, yes, he's done. So 6 cars are now listed out of the race as Kanan Biller joins those drivers behind the wall. So a big accident to open up the Franklin Electric Brickyard 400 for 2022. Ethan Lewis leads the way. He'll lead the field to the green flag here shortly. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to bring out the caution here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So caution number 1 out here at Indianapolis on lap number 1, and a little jam up heading off into turn number 3 resulted in Blake Parker having a big run on the inside, but washes up into Sear and Wright, gets down to the warm-up lane, not able to slow the car down, comes back up the track just ahead of Braden Perez, who just barely gets through. And Blake Parker goes down into traffic. Harris and Upton get caught. There's Biller getting involved. Dale Lightning, Samit Oskin getting involved. So half a dozen cars involved in this one. But caution coming out early here at Indianapolis. Let's take a look at full speed. So quite the strange set of circumstance happened here. Sear dives it in on Vargas and Wright, then Parker dives it in, and that's what starts the pile-up as Parker comes back up the racetrack right on the 95 of Wright, who gets caught in the wall, and then along comes some other cars, Upton, Harris, Biller, Lightning, and Oskin getting involved in this one. And that is what brings out the first caution of the race, a ferocious pileup. Field is in the hands, though, of Ethan Lewis. He'll lead the field to the green flag. Track is clear, we're good to go, so let's head to the restart here at Indianapolis. Welcome back to your live coverage of the second annual Franklin Electric Brickyard 400 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, live here on the Trinity River Network in the NOFSRL Trinity River Cup Series for 2022, race number 22 of the season. 5 races remain before today. We are working that 5th to last one here. Caution coming out early on lap number 1 for a ferocious pileup in the fourth corner, followed by a little extracurricular activity as the field joined up behind the pacing line. But Ethan Lewis, Daytona 500 winner, leads the way for Diego Vasquez's Monkey Racing team in second place is Roberto Crown Jr. in the number 27 for Logan Sport. Third place, rounding off the podium here early on, is Alejandro Cruz Jr. in the 05. Then it's Nicholas Sabadio, Eric Monaco, that's the top 5. And then Justin Zeidel, Jacob Thibodeau, Colin Teague, Keegan Thompson, Ace Garcia, the top 10. Green flag is back out here at Indianapolis. Crown, an excellent restart. He's going to swing to the inside right away for the race lead. Zeidel and Monaco side by side as well for 5th. Looks like Crown's going to take the spot away from Lewis, and Cruz is going to get to the inside of the 54 as well. Sabadio looking for that podium spot, and teammates going to follow suit, the 62 and the 32. Sabadio's going to cross to the inside of Cruz now for the second position, headed off into turn number 3. What a restart by Mr. Edge. He's certainly not being conservative. Kyle McLeese had to come into the pits after catching Joey Hightower as the field jumbled back up together at the pacing line. So Sabadio is on the charge now into the second position. He's looking to take the points lead. The gap was 15 between him and McLeese coming in. As Zeidel presses against the backside of the Advanced Auto Parts number 98. Roberto Crown Jr. leads the way. Everybody making it through all right. A lot tamer restart than the initial start of the race. Here's Zeidel going to the inside of Sabadio for that second position. He's going to bring his teammate Jacob Thibodeau into the mix, and sideways coming out of turn number 3 goes Thibodeau. And the Pacific Camel Racing teammates will get around Mr. Edge, who slips back into that 4th position. Their teammate Braden Perez in the 15th position at the moment. Here he is in the Schluter Toyota, just ahead of defending series champion Trey Smith. As almost got to the inside of Mitchell Collins, heading off into turn number 1 as we join back up real quick. Just wanted to make sure we didn't miss anything up front. It is Crown, Zeidel, Thibodeau, Sabadio, Lewis, the top 5 right now. Jacob Thibodeau's taking a look at Zeidel, not able to make the move, not close enough. Sabadio trying to get to the inside of that 32 as they come through turn 3 and 4. Didn't see much of anybody come down apart from those who were involved in the incident come down into the pits under the last caution, so still expect the cycle to happen about lap 17. Here's Sabadio go to the inside of Thibodeau, and they contact into turn number 1. Thibodeau tried to shut the door at the last second, but Sabadio powers through on the inside of the Tide Ride. Into turn number 2, and now down the long back straightaway. Zeidel with a big draft up to Roberto Crown Jr. trying to take the lead. On lap number 9, into 3 we go. Sakala now down to the inside of Colin Teague. Eric Monaco following suit. Zeidel took a peek at Crown. Sabadio took a peek at Zeidel. Now rounding turn number 4, Zeidel taking a look onto the front straightaway down Gasoline Alley, approaching the Yard of Bricks. It'll be Sabadio crossing to the inside of the 62. Into turn number 1. Sabadio's going to duplicate the move he put on Thibodeau, although there's not going to be any contact. This time, Zeidel does not force the issue, and Sabadio moves to the inside and gets around the 62. And now Thibodeau inside of his teammate now. They are side by side going down into turn number 3. Sabadio looking for the race lead from Roberto Crown Jr. in the number 27. Oh, and he's going to have a shot going through turn number 4. He tried getting to the inside. Had to get out of the gas, though, and that's going to bring Thibodeau right back. Zeidel there as well. Now Thibodeau thinks about it, hesitated, and now crosses back to the inside of Sabadio as Crown leads the way. It's Thibodeau to second, Sabadio, Zeidel fourth. And now Marty Sakala trying to get to the inside of Ethan Lewis, rounding turn number 2. Onto the back straightaway they go. Eric Monaco in behind the number 84 as they head down the long backstretch. Into turn 3, it will be Chick-fil-a getting around Lewis. And up ahead of them, Zeidel right on the back of Nicholas Samadillo. And where has Kyle McLeese gone to now? He's in the 30th position. So if things ended this time around, Nicholas Samadillo would take the points lead away from the 59. We'll have to see what it looks like for the rest of this race, as we have 21 laps to go in the second annual Franklin Electric Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis. Crown has led just about all the... Well, no, he didn't lead every single lap. Ethan Lewis was on the pole position, you see. But Ethan Lewis has slipped backwards into the 7th position. They're the only two to have led laps today. Jacob Thibodeau trying to change that around. There's only been one lead change in this race. Lewis started off in the lead. Crown has led since then, and Jacob Thibodeau with a big run down the front straightaway. Right on the backside of the 27, he makes the move right at the yard of bricks. Into turn number 1 he goes, looking for the race lead, and he's going to take it from Roberto Crown Jr. His teammate Justin Zeidel slipping into 3rd, and now looking for 2nd on Crown. The teammates helping each other out to get to the lead at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's Thibodeau taking the spot, and Justin Zeidel just behind him in the 2nd position. PHR, all 3 cars are in the top 10 as Braden Perez has gotten around Elijah Gordon and now setting his sights on Christopher Alphaby, who sits in the 9th position. Now, I don't think the teammates are going to play too hard with each other, although Zeidel's taking a look into 1. Thibodeau closes the door, though. Great defense by the 32. As they head out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Now Perez all over the backside of the 3. And now as we join back up front, Zeidel's on the inside of Thibodeau for the race lead. And teammates, as Samadillo gets to the inside of Roberto Crown Jr., they're still side by side coming around turn number 4. Thibodeau trying to work that high side. Zeidel on the low side, and you crash in turn 4. That's Ethan Lewis, I believe. Yes, Ethan Lewis has gone around, and coming back to the caution flag, the leader is Justin Zeidel, ahead of Jacob Thibodeau, Samadillo, and then Crown, with Chick-fil-a rounding out the top 5. And as we already had... Wait, did we have another one? We might have had a second incident here. Still see damage on Parrish, Thompson, and Sear. Parrish has more damage than he had before, so we might have had 2 incidents here. We saw Lewis spinning around in turn... Oh yeah, look at that. Right off coming out of turn number 2. So we had 2 incidents here on lap number 14 to bring out the caution. We are now on lap number 15 as Zeidel leads the way ahead of Thibodeau, Samadillo, Crown, and Chick-fil-a. And we'll see if anybody comes down the pit road this time. We are encroaching on that window. And it does look like they are going to. But this is going to be very close to the end of this race. We'll see if they can make it. Eric Monaco going to chance it. And the 25 will stay out. Ryan Durrani appears he's also going to stay out on the racetrack, as will Stephen Colon and Keegan Thompson. But the rest of the cars coming down into the pits. And we'll see how it works out for everybody as they head off into their stalls. I would imagine it's all going to be 4 Pirellis and a fill up of Sunoco fuel. Zeidel pulls into his stall, Thibodeau and Samadillo into theirs. And we'll wait to see who wins the race off the pit road. William Brock and Ethan Lewis coming off. I think Brock may have taken 2 tires. And it looks like that's the case. Samadillo, a slow stop. Very slow. and he's going to lose a ton of ground as a result of that. But it's Brock winning the race off the pit road, then Thibodeau, Zeidel right there, Crown, Kukulon, and where is Samadio fallen to? Right in behind Christopher Alphaby. Looks like he's going to fall outside of the top 10 as a result of that pit stop. But it's important to note that Monaco, Durrani, Cologne, and Thompson might still need to come into the pit road. We'll see when we get the restart here. But Eric Monaco, for the moment, leads the way here at Indianapolis. We'll see how it goes here on the restart. Real quick, let's go back and take a look at what all happened to bring out the second caution of the race here in the Franklin Electric Brickyard 400. So here is what initially brought out the second caution of the race. See Parrish diving on the inside of Troxel and Thompson. 3 wide coming out of 2 just does not work. They go up and slam the outside wall. Thompson, and then Troxel comes down into traffic. Hightower runs into the back of Sears, sends the 7 down into the 0-2 of Will Parrish. So a 4-car jam up coming out of turn number 2. Let's take a look now at full speed. So watching again here, Parrish dives to the inside of Troxel and Thompson. No room coming out of the corner. They go up into the wall. And then Sear down into Parrish. Absolutely nowhere to go. And so 4 cars being taken out in this one. But that was not the only incident that happened to bring out the caution flag. This was the primary one. Let's take a look at the secondary one. So we only need one angle for this one. This is pretty straightforward. Ethan tried to chop down on Ace Garcia, and that didn't work. And Ethan Lewis, as a result, goes up and hits the outside retaining wall in turn number 4. So that was the secondary incident. And we are ready to get it restarted here at Indianapolis. The track is clear. We are good to go. So let's head to the restart here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Back with your live coverage again here on the Trinity River Network at the second annual Franklin Electric Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis, race number 22 of the 2022 NOFSRL Trinity River Cup Series season. We had a couple of cars come down the pit road while we were away looking at the replays. It was Ryan Durrani and Keegan Thompson both came into the pits. So it will be Eric Monaco leading the way. Actually, it'll be Monaco leading the way, Brock second, as Stephen Cologne is a lap down. So then it will be Jacob Thibodeau third, Zeidel in fourth, and then Crown fifth, and then Kukulon, Sakala, Gordon, Oskin, and Rose the top 10 as we get ready to go green flag racing once again here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We'll see how many drivers will be able to make it to the end that just came down into the pits under that caution. Maybe they'll all be able to make it, but Monaco and Brock still need to come into the pits. We'll see if they do as the green flag comes out here on lap number 19. Brock immediately down to the inside of the lap car, Stephen Cologne. As in behind, you see a whole lot of side-by-side going on right off the bat. Samadio, his pit crew royally messed up under the cycle, and, well, he's trying to march back up to the front because Kyle McLeese runs 24th now, and the separation is just 12 positions now. As William Brock goes down to the inside of Eric Monaco for the race lead, and the PHR teammates are going to follow suit. Thibodeau and Zeidel trying to regain control of this race. Out of turn number 4, down the front straightaway. Lap car Stephen Cologne in behind the 62. Zeidel down to the inside of Thibodeau for the moment. Thibodeau pulls ahead of that 62 though. I would imagine Zeidel let him in, and the teammates remain second and third as Thibodeau on the charge on William Brock for the race lead. As Zeidel taking a look to the inside, going to leave his teammate out to dry, although Stephen Cologne right there is a lap car. Kukulon, the 82, is not. But the teammates are still side by side coming through turn 3 and 4, and Brock's going to come to the pits, as will Kukulon, Monaco, and Rose. The teammates side by side up front here at Indy. Sam Oskin also comes into the pits behind. Zeidel will pull back in behind Jacob Thibodeau. Stephen Colon, lap car just behind them. So it will be Sekela in the 3rd position. And in 4th place right now, Elijah Gordon. And then 5th place, Nicholas Samadillo as he gets around last week's winner, Priya McShane. But that stacked everybody up back there, so they're going to have to be extremely careful as the teammates will go side by side once again for the race lead. Justin Zeidel on the inside of Jacob Thibodeau. Cologne around the outside. He is 1 lap down. Sekela's trying to force it 3 wide on the teammates. And I think they're going to be 3 wide coming down the start-finish line. That is a tight pinch. Sekela pulls back in behind the 62, though. But Zeidel leads at start-finish. So it'll be Zeidel leading. Sekela will get around Thibodeau. And it will be Thibodeau 3rd, but he's going to slip in behind the lap car of Stephen Colon. 4th place now is Brock Nelson in the 18, Elijah Gordon 5th, Nicholas Samadillo 6th, then Cruz Vargas Perez. That's the top 9 as Cologne will see it get to the inside of Sekela. That is not a position change, but this one is as Thibodeau gets back around Sekela. As we come around back to the yard of bricks, we're looking for 10 laps to go this time. Justin Zeidel leads the way. Will this be the first victory ever for Pacific Halo Racing in the series as caution comes back out front straightaway? And I believe Andrews just caught the attenuator. See John Andrews in the pits. He's the only one down there except Alex Lozano. And I see the skid marks leading all the way down to the wall. I believe Andrews has caught the attenuator. So the 3rd caution of the race comes out on lap number 23 after a hectic restart. And Andrews does look like he's going to fall out of this one. So that will put us down to 33 cars on the racetrack. 6 a lap down, 27 on the lead lap. As Zeidel leads the way there, Cologne is not second. It's Thibodeau, Sekela, Nelson, and Samadillo, the top 5. And we'll go back and take a look at the replay now. We are going to have just a handful of laps to go when we restart the Franklin Electric Brickyard 400 here at Indianapolis. Let's go back and see what happened to John Andrews. 3rd caution out here in Indianapolis, and one of the most violent incidents we've seen all year. Trey Smith cuts up on Andrews down into the Lozano, and Andrews backs hard into the pit attenuator. Car ends up on its side, comes down on the wheels. That explains why Lozano came down the pit road. So a 3-car incident coming out of the northwest turn. And that was a horrible, horrible incident. But let's take a look at full speed. Hold on to your socks, everybody, because here we go. Trey Smith washes up on John Andrews, the initial contact, and then down to the Lozano, and boom! Right there, Andrews right into the attenuator. And Lozano all the way down into the pits. Gets it slowed up and pulls off into his stall, but that brings out the caution flag. And we'll see. We'll see if where we go from here, because we're getting ready to restart once again here at Indianapolis. That's the 3rd caution of the race. Hopefully the last one. Track's clear. We're good to go. So let's head to the restart here at Indianapolis. And once again, we arrive back to your live coverage here on the Trinity River Network at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the 2nd annual Franklin Electric Brickyard 400. Caution coming out for, I believe, John Andrews hitting the pit attenuator. You've seen the replay. I didn't see it happen live, so we're just gonna... I think that's what happened, because I saw him in the pits, and saw the skid marks go all the way down to the end of the pit attenuator. But in the lead is Justin Zeidel. Jacob Thibodeau, his teammate, is 2nd. In between them, the lap car of Stephen Colon. And then it's Sekela, Nelson, Samadillo, Gordon, Cruz, Perez, Vargas, and McShane rounding out the top 10. We are ready to restart for potentially, maybe the final time here in this year's Brickyard 400, waiting for the green flag to fly. And there it is. We're racing once again at Indianapolis. 6 laps to go in this one. Colon does not get going, holds up Thibodeau. Sekela and Nelson right to the inside of the 32 car. Nicholas Samadillo there once again looking to take the points lead from Kyle McLeese, who's deeper in the field. He gets his way back up into the top 5 as trouble behind Ace Garcia. Turned off the 43 of Mitchell Collins into the inside wall. And that is not going to bring out a caution flag. We stay under the green. Stephen Colon leaning on the 62 of Zeidel as they round turn number 4. We come around for 5, count them, 5 laps to go in the Franklin Electric Brickyard 400. Sekela and Nelson right to the inside of the 99, and teammates getting together, 3 wide going through 1. Colon, Sekela's teammate, they almost turned each other into the wall on the outside. Samadillo following the 84 through. Brock Nelson trying to catch the 62 of Zeidel. Zeidel's teammate Thibodeau has his teammate Perez now behind him, 3 wide. Samadillo almost got that 84 of Sekela. Now PHR teammates Thibodeau and Perez in behind the 98. This skirmish continues as they come around for 4 laps to go. Brock Nelson trying to catch the 62. Ace Garcia has made it back to the pits, so will not have a caution for a stalled car after that incident. Samadillo gets around the 84, now into the 3rd position as Nelson has caught Zeidel. Both of these drivers looking for their first career win of the series. Here's Nelson going to the inside for the lead, headed off into turn number 3. Nelson has that inside line. Zeidel trying to work the high side. And Nelson will get by. Colon now down to the inside of the 62. Zeidel trying to use the draft from the 18 to hold off Stephen Colon, and he will for the time being. 3 laps to go. Can Zeidel get back around the 18? Or they've got Nicholas Samadillo 1 second back from them. There's going to be a lot of car rugby going on. All 5 PHR cars, I believe, are in the top 5 now. Zeidel, Perez, and Thibodeau. This is the best run they've had all year long. And one of them is in contention for a race victory if they can get around Brock Nelson and hold off the lap car of Stephen Colon that is just being an absolute pain right now to the lead battle. But 2 laps to go. Brock Nelson leads the way. Justin Zeidel second. 1/4 second separates them. Into turn number 1, and there is a car even ahead of Brock Nelson to potentially hold up that 18. It's the 4 of Alex Lozano. Down the back straightaway, Stephen Colon all over the backside of the 62. Colon a lap car. Zeidel trying to use him as a draft to catch back up to the 18. Perez catches Samadillo looking for a podium spot and potentially his best finish of the season. White flag comes out here at Indianapolis. 2.5 miles to go in the Brickyard 400. Brock Nelson trying to hold on. Justin Zeidel trying to catch him. Zeidel led on the restart. And due to the skirmish, all sorts of stuff happening, it cleared the way for Brock Nelson. Nelson down the back straightaway. The Super Cheap Auto Toyota trying to hang on. 2 more corners to the checkered flag and a first career win for Brock Nelson. The second Nelson Motorsports car to get a win this season. Will he make it all the way home? Yes, he will. Zeidel's going to come up just short, but Brock Nelson wins the Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis. What a thriller! Justin Zeidel will have to come home with a painstaking second, but PHR has to be just elated. All three cars finish in the top 5. Nicholas Samadio comes home with a podium. Samadio came in second in the points, and with Kyle McLeese's 24th, he leaves with the point lead. Mr. Edge takes the points lead. Brock Nelson takes the race victory of the day, and PHR with their best run of all in the history of the TRCS. All three cars finishing in the top 5. My goodness. And the ironic thing is that Thibodeau was the end cap of the trio in the top 5. He's been the best driver for the team all season. Justin Zeidel's been the worst one of all three of them, and he finished second. What a topsy-turvy race here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And the winner, Brock Nelson, the Australian-based team, the Brandon Nelson Motorsports team, will be celebrating hard here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Let's take a look at your race finishing results in the second Brickyard 400. Brock Nelson wins an average race speed of 121.4649 miles per hour, just under half a second ahead of Justin Zeidel, Nicholas Samadio 3rd, Braden Perez 4th, Jacob Thibodeau 5th, Mitchell Henderson 6th, Marty Sakala 7th, Christian Vargas 8th, Christopher Alphaby 9th, and Colin Teague rounds out the top 10. We scroll through the rest of our standings here. Alex Lozano, the last car on the lead lap. Stephen Colon, Sebastian Kukulon, Caleb Rose, Eric Monaco, Willie Brock, and Sam Oskin a lap down. Garcia, Andrews, Biller, Harris, Wright, Parker, Upton, and Lightning, the cars unable to finish this race for one reason or another. And that is going to do it here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. One more congratulations to Brock Nelson and the entire Nelson Motorsports team. His teammate, Mitchell Henderson, actually finished in 6th, and the other Nelson Motorsports car, Trey Smith, finished 18th. So all three Nelson Motorsports cars in the top 20, and one of them's going to victory lane. First career win for Brock Nelson, and it comes on one of the biggest stages of the series, one of the brightest jewels, the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis. Big congratulations to them. We will see you next week at the Michigan International Speedway in the long-awaited return of the NOFSRL 500. That should be a tremendous race. Hope to see you then. And that's going to do it here at Indianapolis. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Until then, y'all take care, stay safe, and have a good one. Welcome to the NOFSRL.